This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so good morning, team. In this Azure Data Engineering Master Program, in today's session, we will talk about copying data from Azure SQL Database to ADLS Gen2 using table, queries, and procedure. There are three different options we have. So we will see what is the use of tables, what is the use of queries option, what is the use of stored procedure option. So there are three ways in which we can able to read the data from Azure SQL database and we can copy into ADLS Gen2. Okay, so let's quickly understand what we will learn in today's session. Quick recap of last session, whatever we discussed, and scenarios, then introduction to table option and copy activity. I'll explain to you what is the use of table option. Next, introduction to the query and dynamic query option. So table means you just select the table, whatever data is there in the table, everything will be copied into the target. If you take a query, so query you can able to use to filter out the data. Like let's say select star from customer table where customer location is Hyderabad. So whoever customers are from Hyderabad, only those customer data you can able to copy instead of copying entire data. So this Hyderabad location, today you copied Hyderabad records to the target. Tomorrow you want Bangalore records. Next you want Mumbai records. So like that, state-wise or country-wise records if you want, instead of hard coding that city name, you can able to pass that city name dynamically to the query. So that's why we will also understand dynamic query option, how we can able to use within the copy activity in ADF. Introduction to stored procedure and dynamic stored procedure option. Introduction to stored procedure. So stored procedure, what is the use of stored procedure is, within the stored procedure we will have a queries only. Within the stored procedure we will have queries only. Only the difference between query versus stored procedure is, stored procedure entire content, the code whatever is there within the stored procedure, that will be saved at the server side. So what is the advantage if we save this code at the server side is, whenever you want to execute this code, we no need to send every time this code to the server, as this is already saved in the server side, it will be executed directly. So we no need to send this thing through the network, that basically faster compared to the query. Okay, and you can also return some output from the stored procedure. You can also return some output from the stored procedure. Okay, so you can pass some input like location, as we discussed in the query, whatever code is there within the stored procedure, for that also you can pass the location dynamically, and that location you sent dynamically, right? How many records it returned, that output you can able to send it as a output from the stored procedure. So anyhow we will come to know, don't worry. Murli Mohan, can't hear your voice. Team, is it issue for all of you or only for few? Can you confirm? Are you able to hear me, team?
Yeah,
It's
it's
clear.
fine.
Yes,
Yes.
we were able to hear you.
Okay, Murli Mohan, please rejoin. Okay, done. I informed him. Now stored procedure with the CRUD operations. So within the stored procedure, you can apply a create queries, okay, update queries, delete queries, anything, insert queries, everything you can able to keep it. So I'll give you some example, because for our upcoming sessions and all, so we want to use CRUD operations within the stored procedure. We will see that. How to create dynamic year, month, day partitions while we are writing data into the target. So when you are writing data into the data lake storage, so I want to, for example, today if I am writing a data, I want to create a 2024-09, and what is the date today? 09. What is the date time? So date is 18th. So if it is 18th, you can say 2024 slash 09 slash 18. 18 is the day. 09 is the month. 2024 is the year. Like that. Under year, 09 month folder. Under month, day folder, we can create dynamically. If you are running today, 18th folder will create. If you are running tomorrow, 19th folder will create. It should be dynamic. You are not editing any year, month, day partitions. Today lab estimations, how many components, what components we need, how many components we need, how many linked service data sets we will estimate, prerequisite, required resources, hands-on step. Finally, I will give you the assignment. Our last session, so this is what we discussed, right? How to copy multiple tables from Azure SQL database to data lake. So in the database to ADLS, so I have multiple tables. We are copying these multiple tables into the global. So under global, this customer data I loaded into the customer folder is a subfolder within the global, and under that customers.csv file I loaded data products.csv, employees.csv. You see global is the main folder, root folder. Under that customer subfolder, under that we loaded the csv. This is what we did in the last session. In today's session, total I think 6 or 7 scenarios are there. So the first scenario, if you see, using the table option, how to copy full load table from Azure SQL Database to ADLS. So whenever we want to query, whenever we want to copy entire table data from source to target, we can use the table option. So this will work like this: SQL database to ADLS. I want to copy data. Within the SQL database, I have a sales LTD customer table. So within the sync ADLS, I'll create a global. Under global, I'll create India folder. Under India, I'll create a customer folder. Under customer folder, I'll also create year, month, day folder. As the things are very, like, I can't able to put everything in the slide. That's why I'm not added. But under customer folder, I'll also create year, month, day folder. Under that, I will load this particular customer table data into the that particular subfolder as a CSV file. Everybody understood scenario 1. Very simple it is. Direct table option we will be using to copy the single table into the ADLS subfolders. Next. Query. How to copy selected columns from SQL database to ADLS Gen2. So same way team, select required columns means instead of putting select star, we are going to select only required columns. Select custody, customer from sales LTD customer. So I'll be taking only the required columns. Again, I'll create a global India customer. I'll copy this data. Okay, this is a scenario 2. First scenario, table option, entire data loaded. Second scenario, we are selecting only the required columns instead of taking entire data from the customer table. The third scenario, again query only, how to copy subset of records from SQL database to ADLS Gen2. Subset of records means, as I mentioned, we have a different locations. Customers are spread across multiple locations. You want to take the Hyderabad people, Hyderabad customers. Now what you will do? You will fire the query like this. For example, instead of that, I have given an example here is, I have a products. So I have a product table with the different colors of the products I have. So I want to take only blue color products. So what I am doing, I am filtering out saying where color equal to blue. Maybe I have a white, I have a red, I have a black. So lot of other colors also I have, but I'll be taking only the blue products. So this query I'll be executing. So, and whatever result is coming, that I'll be loading under global India product folder. I'll be loading the data as products.csv. Clear team? This is a scenario number 3, very important. Now this colors, today you are passing blue, tomorrow you want to pass black, again in the next one you want it to do as You can just think of you want to do it as a black, red, or some other product. So what I want is in the first scenario, dynamic query. So how to copy subset of records from SQL database to ADL Gen2 dynamically. If you see here, you see your color is pipeline parameter. I'm passing at the rate pipeline dot parameters dot color name. So I'm passing the color name dynamically. So query is going to be fetching the data dynamically based on the value that we are passing. So that value I'll take and I load it into the same subfolder. Here if I pass a red product folder I'll create and I'll load the data. If I pass a black product here, black product folder I'll create and load the data here. Fourth scenario, all of you clear, team? Okay. So if you see fifth scenario, stored procedure option. How to copy data from SQL database to ADLS Gen using stored procedure and copy activity. So if you see, this is how we need to create a stored procedure. First, if you see, the stored procedure is nothing, team. Okay. If you look at here, right, create a proc is nothing, but you are creating a procedure, and this is the procedure name. So as begin, end is the syntax. Beginning the code, ending the code. So you see here, this is the query that I am putting simple select star from EMP. That's why I told you stored procedure also contains the queries. Okay, everybody understood. Create proc. EMP underscore USP is the name of the stored procedure. You can give anything. Okay. Now you can see this is the database. From the database, so what I'll do, I'll execute the stored procedure whatever I created. How you'll execute emp underscore usp. So when you execute this, I'll be getting the results. Whatever result I'll be getting, I'll be loading on into the emp subfolder as a employees.csv. Clear, team? Next, scenario 6, dynamic stored procedure. How to copy data from SQL database to Gen2 using stored procedure parameter and copy activities like this. Create a proc procedure. This is the procedure name, employee department USP. Department name I'm passing dynamically. Okay. So here I defined the parameter. Select star from EMP where department equal to at the rate department. Okay. Now you see here, I'll be executing the stored procedure. Whatever data is coming, that I'll be loading into this folder as a employee dept.csv. Clear? So I think these are the 6 different scenarios. Yeah, these are the 6 different scenarios that we are going to discuss in today's session. Please let me know if anybody have any doubt in any of the scenarios. Okay, so if no doubts, let's move on, team. Okay. Scenarios, if you see overall all scenarios, using table option full load data I'll load, using query option I'll load selected columns, using query I'll be taking the subset of data. Again, so subset of data I'll be taking using the dynamic query. Stored procedure, basic stored procedure. This is a parameterized stored procedure. These are the 6 scenarios we will discuss. SQL important keywords, team. Create table is the important keyword you should understand. Whenever you want to create a table, create table, table name you need to give. Okay. So whatever columns you want, you need to keep those columns in the table. Create procedure. If you want to create a procedure, you need to use the syntax as proc. Only short name also you can still here. Create proc you can use or create procedure you can able to use. Okay. Next, select is a keyword which is used to extract data from a table. So update, if you want to update data in a table in a database. Delete, if you want to delete data from a table in a database. So insert into, if you want to insert some data into the table, you can able to use the insert into keyword. Okay, these are the some of the keywords that we are using in recent days. So you should understand this. Data types, right? Int is nothing but it stores the whole number. Example ID you can use as an integer column, 140 to 100, these kind of values you can store. Varchar of n means, so it stores the variable length string up to n character. Okay, name varchar of 255. Rama, so can I store Rama in 255 characters? Yes, Rama is having just 4 characters. Name is defined with varchar of 255. Definitely you can able to store the Rama, Krishna, everything. So float, if you have any salary column, price column, you can able to use the float. You can see decimal values will be there. Date format, if you want to pass some customer joined data and all, you can use the date data type to define birth date and all. For example, you want to know created what what date and what time this particular record is created, or particular order is placed at what date and time. So all those things, if you want to record date, time, data type, you can able to use. So stored procedure syntaxes, if you see further, Tim. So stored procedure syntaxes like this: create a procedure, procedure name, proc name means procedure name can be anything. As begin, you need to put the query end. So create a proc emp underscore sp. Okay, as begin, select star from emp end. Okay, this is the basic stored procedure. So dynamic stored procedure, if you see parameter, create procedure, procedure name at the rate parameter 1, what is the type of it? Parameter 2, what is the type of it? You need to put as begin query end. So same here, if you see create a proc procedure name. So ID column, name column, phone number column, joined date, all these are parameterized. Okay, so ID, name, phone number, joined date, all these are the 4 parameters. I am taking these 4 parameter values and I am inserting data into the employee table. If you see now, using the stored procedure, I am inserting the data, not only just selecting, insert into EMP. These are the values. So these values are coming dynamically through the stored procedure parameter. Clear, Tim? Next, dynamic stored procedure syntax. So yeah, here you can see I am passing the ID and the mobile number. So I am updating the employee table. I am setting the employee phone number to the dynamic parameter, whatever phone number is sending, that phone number I am updating against a ID column. So which employee record, which employee phone number you want to change, that phone number against that employee. So the update statement also we can able to execute using the stored procedure. Okay, so we have seen these many scenarios, right? In order to do all these scenarios, how many linked services we need, Tim? Tell me how many linked services we need.
2.
Okay, yes. How many data sets we need?
2.
What activities we need for copying data from SQL database to ADL Gen2 using table query stored procedure? Anybody have any idea?
Copy activity.
Same. Lookup
Only
for
copy.
okay.
No, no, only copy activity is enough, because I am working currently, I am explaining only on a single table. So when we talk about multiple tables, we need to think of lookup for each and all. How many pipelines we need? Only one pipeline is enough. What type of IR we need to use the copy activity from SQL DB to ADLS Gen to Azure integration runtime? Prerequisite, you should understand what is SQL DB, ADLS Gen to data factory, integration runtime, linked service, data set, activity, and the pipeline. So these are the things we are going to use in today lab. So required resources are Azure SQL Database, ADLS Gen to data factory. So these three I will be creating in the Microsoft Azure, meaning in Azure portal. Hands-on steps is, first we need to create SQL DB, next data lake, next data factory. Once we create these three, we need to create a table and insert data into the table in the Azure SQL database, like employee table. Then we need to create a folders in the sync ADLS. We need to create linked service for source, linked service for sync. So source data set, sync data set. We need to create a pipeline and configure the copy activity to copy data from source DB to ADLS Gen2 using table, query, and stored procedure option. So we need to debug the pipeline. We need to test all folders loaded with the latest data from source. Okay. So this is what we need to do, Tim. So assignment is you need to create a stored procedure to filter records where load type is full load and is active equal to 1 from the metadata details, and the load type should be parameterized so that we can able to read incremental tables or full load tables dynamically. Okay, fine. So everybody, I hope everybody understood theoretically what is expected and what we need to do for today lab, isn't it, Tim?
What is the
Any doubt?
difference between data lake and Gen2? Means one when we create the select the one option. Apart from that, any difference between Gen2 and data lake?
Data lake or data lake storage Gen2 both are same. We don't have anything called data lake storage Gen1. So data lake storage Gen1 is, I think it is removed already. You can't, yeah, it is there, but I don't think it will allow you to create. See, you don't have any option to create. You have only manage view. Manage view means people who are using since 2016. Before 2020 only this is decommissioned. But people who are implemented ADLS Gen 1 in the before 2020 and they are still managing their data in the ADLS Gen 2, they can do it. But newly, whoever is coming, whoever is implementing, so they should not use ADLS Gen 2. That's why you see option is only manage. You don't have anything called create. No data lake storage Gen 1 to display. Build and manage big data analytics. So same. Okay. So we
Data
don't have anything. Whatever I am saying, data lake, which is nothing but a data lake storage Gen 2 only. Okay.
and difference between data lake Gen2 and blob storage?
I already discussed, right?
Means like
What is the difference?
when we create the blob storage, there one option is there. We have to click. If not click, then join blob storage will create it. But apart from that, any specific blob storage have one higher maintain the gen to maintain the hierarchy. Apart from that, nothing or any other specific reason.
What is nothing? We already discussed in detail about the difference between blob versus ADLS. Please go through the previous sessions. But quickly, I am letting you know. Stored procedure. The blob storage is a flat file structure. Data lake is a hierarchical
And
namespace.
state
So
structure,
data
yes.
lake storage is, hold on. So data lake storage is designed for the big data analytics. So you can store the data in ADLS Gen 2 and that data quickly you can able to process it using the Azure Databricks, Azure Data Factory, Azure Synapse or Azure HD Insight, different tools you can able to use to apply the data analytics on top of that data. But blob storage is a general purpose. You can able to store any type of data. It is mainly used for backup, temporary files if you want to store and all. You can able to use the blob storage. So blob storage has some limitations, but the data lake storage you don't have any limitations. Petabyte of data you can able to store, and whatever data you are storing in the data lake storage, it has a fine grained security. What it means is you can control the access to the file or subfolder or main folder, but in the blob storage you have only the main folder, main container only. So access also you'll have a fine grained access control for the data lake storage Gen 2. So please refer the previous session to get better clarity on this. Did we discuss, Tim, the difference between ADLS Gen 2 versus blob or not? Others, please confirm.
Discussed. We already discussed.
We are not going to the same problems will come. Okay, fine. So now, any other doubts before I start? Okay. First, let me go to SQL database, create a SQL database, which is our source. Cloud Pandit -dev -SQL DB. Cloud Pandit -SQL dev SQL Server. Use SQL authentication. This is the username. This is the password. Click OK. Database name is this. Okay. Server name is this. Want to use SQL Elastic Pool? No. Workload environment development. So all these things you can leave it. Okay. So let me explain to you as you are not aware. SQL Elastic Pool, if you enable, you can allocate the resources. For example, you have 100% resources. You can say 50% of the resources I want to allocate for a particular job. So remaining 50% of the resources I want to allocate for the all general purpose queries. But 50% I want to leave it for the scheduled or some other jobs. You can allocate such type of things by using the S. Okay. So this workload is for the development or production. Based on that, they will be setting up the backend infrastructure. Okay. That is just whatever basically we are developing. That's why I'm putting for the development. Size of the database, click on configure database. Choose here budget friendly, standard budget friendly, click apply. Okay. So after that, click on the go to additional settings, enable sample data, click OK, click review plus create, click create. Okay. So this is how we can create the SQL database. This is how we can create the Azure SQL database. Second tab, come to second tab. Next. So if you come here, we need to create a target. Target is data lake store Gen2. Go to storage accounts, click on create storage account. So same resource group I'm giving here. Storage account name is Cloud Pandit Dev Sync Blob. Simply you can give it as a sync blob. Okay. Somebody has taken, looks like Dev Sync Blob. Sorry, sync. It is sync is ADLS, right? Sync ADLS. We have to click next. So you see hierarchical namespace followed complemented by ADLS Gen2 endpoint. It enables file directory semantics and it also accelerates the big data analytics workloads. It enables access control list. Access how you are maintaining the folders, the data that you are storing in a data like storage Gen2 can be quickly read into the data processing services like Databricks, Azure HL Insight, Data Factory, Azure Synapse and all. We can quickly process and store data back to the ADLS Gen2. That is the meaning. Click review plus create. So this is a SQL database. Second service that I'm creating is ADLS Gen2. Click create. Go to third tab. Go to Data Factory. Okay, Cloud Pandit -dev -ADF workspace. Click review plus create. SQL Database, ADLS Gen2. This is the data factory. Okay, so SQL Database, ADLS Gen2, and Data Factory team. Let's wait until data. Okay, database is also ready. It's good. Go to resource. Okay, so now what we need to do, we need to first, right, we need to enable the firewall. And one more thing is, I think in the yesterday session we were not having the enough time to discuss all the things I have not discussed, but we won't connect to this database using this query editor option team. So we have something called tools to connect. Generally nowadays the popular tool that we are using is, you can see here, right, showing down Azure. Okay, it is not showing. Azure Data Studio is something which is frequently used nowadays in the real-time industry. But earlier we also using the popular tool called SSMS, SQL Server Management Studio. Whoever aware, it's good. If you are not aware, that is fine. So SSMS you can able to use. Whoever already aware, whoever not aware, they can use the Azure Data Studio, which is the very latest. Click on Azure Data Studio. Click on download Azure Data Studio. Come down, you can see download Azure Data Studio. Here Windows operating system is there. You have to download here. You have to download the user installer, system installer .zip. Okay, so you need to install this one. Got it, team? So if you want to install the user installer, just to click on this. So now what happens is, it is going to download this particular software, this tool installation executable file. So once this executable file is downloaded, you just have to click next to install it. So try to install it. Whoever is having issue, we will see. So let's say once we have installed that studio, it will look like this. Okay, now click on this new connection. This is a server name, this is a Windows authentication type, database name, so trust server, all these things we have to put it here. So now if you see very carefully here, we have a search, then notebooks, database projects, connections, explore. So if you want to explore whatever other options that you have, okay, folders and all, source control, if you want to do like some versioning and all, extensions, not only SQL database, you also want to connect to Postgres and some other databases, you can install the some plugins and all. So recently I installed the Postgres as well, but if you want to install some other plugins, you can do it. Go to connections, click on new connection to establish connection to the Azure SQL database. Okay, fine. And now what we did just till now is, team, we just created a database, team, correct? We just created a database, and then we created a data lake storage, and then we created the data factory. Now come here. Okay, so now what we wanted to do is, we want to first, within the database, what are the other advantages? We also discussed the difference between the data lake versus database. So what is the some of the security advantages for the SQL database, team? Inbuilt security. Okay, inbuilt security means if somebody wanted to access the SQL database, not only username and password, they should also require what? They also should have a proper firewall rule should be enabled, meaning from the customer network we should allow their network to connect to the database. That's why I go to set server firewall. Here we need to add their network IP address. If their network IP address we have not added, they can't able to connect. So that's why selected networks. So here, so this is only, team, earlier for the previous batch onwards, this option is like this. I have verified in the my project, right? This issue is only showing for the free trial and pay as you go, and real time where we are having a project subscription with that I tried. This issue is not there. This is showing IPv4, but it is showing IPv6 address. Whoever is not aware IPv6 address, don't worry, because as the network system is increased, now IPv4 addresses are not enough to control that. That's why they are introducing something called IPv6. So now what you need to do is, what is my IP address? You can search in Google. So this is what IPv6 2406, that is what it is showing. You see 2406B400, but it is IPv6. In the Azure SQL database, it is showing it as a IPv4, and this one it is showing. This is wrong. So we need to put a IPv4. That's why see IPv4 address is this. Copy this. So add a firewall R1. Some people asked, what if our IP is changing? That's why in real time we put a some range 0002 255 255 255 like this. Okay, click OK. So now what happens? All the computers from this address to that address, meaning it will be like this thing. I'll remove it again. I'm showing you. Okay, so from here onwards, again 1 2 3 up to this is 255, up to this is 250. All these computers are allowed if you give that range. Okay, that's how you can able to give the range of IP address, so that within that range all the network systems can connect to the database team. Okay, now I added this, and all Azure services like Databricks, Azure Data Factory, Synapse, everything should be able to connect to database automatically. So save, oh sorry, you have to select this option and you have to save this. Okay, click on this again, confirm. So set server firewall, verify once. Okay, this IP4 address is added and Hello Azure services also enabled. Now what we want to connect to this database from the Azure Data Studio. Copy server name, click on this new connection, put that server name here. So database name, it will load automatically. Why it is not loading? Because we have not given a proper authentication. Select SQL login team. So we need to put my username, password is this. So now databases will load, whatever databases are there. See, select the dev SQL DB database, click connect. So team, so now what we need to do? So now we connected, right? Click on this new query. Now let's see all the tables that you have in the database. These are the some of the tables that you have. But if you want to create our own table, right? So if you want to create our own table, you can also create table. Like for example, create table employee, employee ID, int employee name, char of n. N means I'm giving 255 characters. So department ID, let's say employee salary, let's say we can give float, and then employee department ID, for example int. Okay, int, or you can say department name, you can take, for example this number is easy, that's why anything is same only. Create procedure. Okay, now I want to insert some data, right? Insert into emp team. Values are, you can see 1 comma 1000 is the salary, department name is HR, 2 Krishna 2000, and so 2000, and then so HR, after that we want to put a sales department. Okay, so after sales, let's say technical department, so something like this, we can put some records. Okay, so now you can see this. I'll say 4, 5, 6, 7, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. Okay, and here I can say Shashi. Okay, Deepak, Srinu, Venkat. Something like this. I have created table and inserting the values into this. That's it. Okay. Everybody understood, team. So this is the employee table. This is the employee department, like employee records I inserted. Now let's also understand the stored procedure. Once we finish off everything, then we will move on to the ADF real. Okay. Let's start understanding stored procedure also. Create a proc. So this is the employee table. I'm querying employee underscore USP. So why we use USP is because you also have a system stored procedure. That's why USP means user defined stored procedure. USP as begin, we will put end. Okay. So here, if I put now select star from EMP, if you run normally select star from EMP, it will give you all this data, whatever data is there. See all this data it is coming, but I want to execute as a query. Now I want to create this particular stored procedure and I want to save this query at the server side. Where this stored procedure is saved, go to programmability, under stored procedure, you should be able to see emp underscore USP, user defined stored procedure. Okay, next. So now how to execute this? So you can simply put the stored procedure name, you can execute this. So it is giving the this. If you keep running, it will be same. But if you want, for example, if I want a HR department, so will you create like this? Employee HR underscore USP, where department name equal to HR. If I create it like this, for each department I need to create a one stored procedure. It will become a lot of stored procedure. It will become a lot of stored procedure, isn't it, Tim? 147. It becomes a lot of stored procedures, isn't it? Okay, because you can't able to change the department name. You see, if you execute how many times, it doesn't matter, it will be only HR. For HR is one, for sales is again. So I'll create a emp sales underscore USP. Here I'll give it as a sales. Now what happens if we use this? It will be a only sales. But for each department, instead of putting a different stored procedures, can we generalize this? Yes. Instead of EMP, any department, you can say generic underscore employee generic underscore USP, and I will be creating one parameter here called department name. So department name, what is the type of department name? Character of 255 something I'll give. Same parameter I'll be passing here now. Okay. Now if you execute this, what will happen, Tim? So this is the stored procedure name. You put the stored procedure name here. So department name, so I'll be giving it as a sales. Run this. So sales is coming. If I give HR here, HR is coming. If I give here technical, see technical department is coming. So using same stored procedure through the parameter, we are able to fetch the data dynamically. Everybody understood, team? So for example, you want to insert some data into the employee table. How you can do that? For example, I want to create a employee underscore new USP. Okay, new USP means new data. Let's say employee new data dot USP. Whenever somebody want to insert some new data dynamically, they can simply create a 4 parameters. How to create a 4 parameters? Carefully observe here. First, employee ID. Okay, so employee ID, I am giving it as a int. At the rate you need to put to make it as a parameter. Employee name, varchar 255. Employee salary, float, float team. Department name, varchar 255. Now what I'll be doing, these 4 parameters I'm taking dynamically. I'll be insert into employee table. Values are, you can directly put employee ID, employee name, employee salary, department name. I can still execute this. Now currently what data you have, you can say select star from employee. So these are the data that you have. Now I'll be inserting some data using the stored procedure. You can say this is a stored procedure. Employee ID is 100. Okay, comma. Employee name is, okay, employee name is Raj. So employee salary is 10,000. Employee, okay, 10,000 point something we can put because it is a float, right? Department name is, let's say, testing department. Now if you execute this, okay, now what happened to him? The stored procedure, what it did, what it what it has done, you can see it is just inserted this record into this. Okay, now let's say if you want to update some data, what you can do, you can also create a similar stored procedure for update, similar stored procedure for the deletion. So all those things will come in the future, but this is how you can able to create the stored procedure. Please let me know if you have any doubt with respect to the stored procedure with and without parameters. Please let me know, team, if you have any parameters. Okay, so now what we will do, if you don't have any questions, now we will directly, source is ready, right? Enabled firewall, you have some tables. So you have data lake also ready. Go to data lake. But can you tell me in the data lake, do we need to create a containers, folder structure and all, or will it create automatically?
It is auto generated.
Okay, the folders and all will create automatically. Come to data factory. Now go to resource. So now we need to launch the data factory because sync said we no need to do anything. Everything will be created automatically. How many linked services we need, team?
2.
2.
One is for the Azure SQL database. Go to manage, click on new connection. So what you want to do? First, you want to connect to the SQL database. Click on SQL database. LS for SQL DB, which is your source. Subscription is this. Subscription is this. Server name is this. Database name is this. And username is, this is the username. This is the password. Okay. So this is the username. This is the password. All these things are fine. Now test connection. Click creating. Connection is successful. Now click on new ADLS Gen2. LS for ADLS Gen2. I think this is our third or fourth session on the ADLS Gen2 team. Okay. So dev sync ADLS test connection. Connection is successful. You can create it. Now come here. Directly create a pipeline team. Okay. So within the pipeline, now you see EL for data ingestion. Really, very careful observe here. First copy activity I'm bringing. Okay. So copy from where to where we want to copy. Source is SQL database. So that's why let's create a data set for SQL database. This is a SQL database. DS for ADLS Gen2. Sorry, DS for SQL DB. Linked services is this. So table, you can select whatever table you want. Okay, let's say I want copy, um, let's say customers. Okay, entire customer data I want to copy. Click OK. Okay, table option here also I selected table. Within the data set also I selected a table. Come to here, sync, where we want to load the data like storage into as a CSV. DS for ADLS Gen2, which is our sync. Linked services is so path where we want to load. Path is not available. Okay, you need to give the path. Let's say main folder is global. Under that India slash landing slash cust is the folder it should create. So as this folder itself not available, it can't import the schema, meaning column names, data type of those columns and all. It can't refer. There is no data. That's why you have to select none here. Then click OK. So sync side, as we selected a .csv file, so we have not given any file name. If you see in the sync data set side, I have not given any file name because file name I don't want to control it. So now what I will be doing, very careful observe. So here .txt is a file extension it will take. That's why I'm changing that to .csv is the file extension I'm changing. With this, click debug. Very simple it is. You are already aware, I hope. If anybody have any doubt on the first scenario, please let me know, team. If you have any doubt in the first scenario, please let me know. Okay. See 847 rows, read 847 rows are written. Let's see the folder structure is created or not. Global, India, landing, cust folder. Because you are processing a globally different data from different countries. That's why country. Within the country, is it a raw data? Raw data will be loaded into the landing. It just lands the data, but nothing happened. That's a landing folder. Under that, what is the table of data? Customer related data. So customer folder. If you're not giving any file name is taken as a table name. Sales LT schema dot customer is the table name. Sales LT dot customer is nothing but a schema table name dot CSV we have given. Now we have to select this, delete this, not this one. Directly you can delete a global only. I'll tell you something here. Okay. So now if you say I deleted the global container, right? Now very careful observe. Come here. Sorry. Come to here. So here what I'll be doing, sync site, open data set. So under this India landing cust, click on add dynamic content. So I'm concatenating. Tell me what will happen if I give Rama slash Krishna team. What will happen? Can you tell me?
Ramakrishna. Rama/Krishna.
Meaning Rama folder will be created under Rama folder.
Krishna.
So now what will happen? Tell me.
This looks like a path.
Now India folder under India landing folder under landing folder cust folder under cust folder Krishna folder will be created. Correct? Now instead of Krishna folder, I want to create a date, year, month, day folders. For that, so I need to use a UTC now. So this UTC now generally gives entire date and time. So that's why I don't want that entire date and time. Only I need a date. So that's why I will format it. If you go to functions, we have something called format date time. Okay. So what you can do is this UTC now you remove it. First you can use a format date time. So to this format date time function, you can pass the UTC. Now time will generate. The time is in the same format that you are giving. The format I want is year slash MM is a capital, remember. Uppercase you need to use month. MMDD. Okay. So now what happened? India folder inside landing folder inside cust folder inside year folder inside month folder inside day. So if you see this year, month, day is a dynamic. If you're running today month, year, day. Tomorrow if you're running tomorrow month, tomorrow day, tomorrow year. If you're running in next year, next year number, next year month, next year date will come. Correct? Click OK. After changing this, come to pipeline. Now please debug this. So this copy data one, if you see team, now same data is loaded, but in where this data is loaded, let's see. Go to sync ADLS, refresh it, global, India, landing, cost, year, month, day. You see 24, 2024, 09, 18. 18th is the today date. This is the file is loaded. Got it, team? Understood everybody? Because in real time we maintain data in the year, month, day partitions wise. You should understand this folder structure. Even interviewer will ask you how you are storing your data in the data lake. Some people will say they will look at the some YouTube videos and all. So in YouTube what happens? People will load data only from input to output, because I know how many members are really working, whoever is uploading in YouTube, right? So what they will do, they take some sample tables and they load the data. And if you're learning that and you will go there and you will say same thing, then interviewer will come to know. You will get full clarity once you explain how the folder structure and all how you are maintaining. If you explain, immediately interviewer will get some picture on your knowledge. So that's why you need to be very careful. There is a reason. Okay, every day data will be there in the respective folders. This is the folder structure you need to explain to the interviewer if they ask. Even if they are not asking, you need to explain. This will be this will basically you are creating some impression in the interviewer, saying that okay, he has some real experience, so they are maintaining data like this and all. Okay, next. This is our first scenario is completed, table selection is completed. Second scenario, come to query. So if you see team here, okay, now what we have is we have a product table, let's say. Okay, let's say not product table, customer table only. So here what I'll be doing, select a star from sales ltd customer. If you run it, there are lot of columns, but what I need only 3 columns. I'll take customer ID is first name, company name. Okay, run it. Just wait, I think. Oh shit. You are selecting everything. Okay, that's okay, fine. So now you see these are the data. Okay, this is the data that we are getting. So only 3 columns you are getting, you are not getting all the data. Okay, you need to select this query. Come here, instead of table option I have given the query. Okay, here you need to do one observation. Very carefully you observe something. Okay, I'm opening data set. If you see here, I selected a table, select sales ltd customer. But in the pipeline copy activity, if you see, select all these columns from this table. I have chosen a query. Now tell me, will it execute a query or will it take that table name as a preference and it will copy the data from the table to ADLS? What it will take as a preference? what it will
Query
take
data.
as a preference?
Query.
Query, okay? Because you selected query here, query it will take it as a preference. Remember, this query data, now I want to load it into sync side. I am opening a sync data set. What I'll do, I'll say this is a cust2 is the scenario 2. That's why I'll say cust2 is the folder name. I want to create a cust2 is the folder name in the ADLS Gen to debug this. Understood everybody? Any confusion, please let me know.
Malay, I have one more question.
Tell me.
Even the file name, right? Even with the file
Hmm.
name, they add the data. They add the date. How do they do that?
Same concat for okay, so that also I'll show you now. Okay,
Okay.
fine, I'll give you that. So now you see when you write a query, it is coming like this, right? But I don't want like this. I want to control file name, and file name I want to create with if as I'm loading a cust, right? Cust underscore today, year, month, day I want for the file. So I'll tell you how to do that. Remove this file. Okay, let's do one thing. Otherwise, remove this cust2 folder itself directly. Okay. Now come to ADF. You asked, right? How to control the file name. So click on the file name, click dynamic content, concat of. Let's say file name is a cust underscore. Now you want to format the datetime. Again, you need to format the date that you are generating. This time date is like this, YYYMMDD. Finally, I want a .csv. Correct. Now what will happen? Cust underscore today year is 2024, month is 09, day is 18 .csv. So this is how the file name will be created now. Got it? So let's see. Understood first theoretically. Click OK. Hey, whoever is asked, please respond. Did you understand?
Yes, Malaya.
Now it is cured. Let's see. It is succeeded. Come here, refresh it, go to cust2, year, month, day, and you can see file name is coming as expected, isn't it? Okay, this is how you
Yes.
should have a file with the date. Next, any other doubts? In the second scenario, we are copying only selected columns. Okay, now I am moving on to the third scenario. In third scenario, what we'll be doing, select star from sales cell. So let's say I'll be taking a product table. Let's say, let me show you the product table first here for you to understand. Select sales lt dot product table. See here, have this, isn't it? Now within this we have black products, red products, white products, blue products. So I'll say where color equal to blue. So where color equal to blue. So I am taking a blue products data. I want to load it into the sync. So in the sync side, now I'll change the folder to the, this is a product. Product is the folder. Under product folder, I'll be creating year, month, day data, and I'll be loading the data. Now the file name I'm removing because I don't want the file name to. Okay. I don't want the file name. Third scenario, very carefully observe. Source side, I have given a subset. I'm filtering out data to get only subset of data. That data I'm loading into the sync under landing product folder year, month, day. There is no file name is given. So file name will be created with the help of the some random file name, because whenever you execute through the query will generate a random file name. Now run this team. So it is already completed. Come here. Let's see under landing product folder is created or not. Let's see product is created. Year, month, day. So let's see whether blue products are loaded or all other products are loaded. See here. See only blue products. Only blue products. Are you seeing only blue products? Correct? Everybody understood? Okay. Now next I want a red products. So I can't able to change the query every time. That's why what I'll do, I'll create a one pipeline parameter. PL param for, okay. You know through the configuration file how you can able to pass it dynamically, but I'm showing instead of passing through some configuration table, maybe first you want to copy blue products, next red products, next some other products. Color name I'm parameterizing. How you can pass is come here, instead of hard coding here, so this is very helpful when we are talking about the incremental load. So I request all of you to very carefully observe all of this. Okay, fine. Add dynamic content. Let me write it like this. Sales LT dot product where color equal to this name. So this parameter you need to put it here. Click OK. Now what happens at the time of debug? Sync also. Open this. Here this also I'll be parameterizing it. This folder name I want to parameterize it, right? So that's why. Okay, so if you want to pass that folder name dynamically to here, so what you need to do is you need to have a data set parameters. Correct, Tim? Because you can't pass the any value dynamically through the pipeline parameter. You can't pass it. That's why color name should be data set parameter I created using that data set parameter this particular place. Okay, what I'm doing here, I'll be putting this color name. Now what happens? India slash landing slash data set parameter will get a value, maybe red products, black products, something slash year month day. Okay, click on this. Now come here. One more thing we want to do within this, not only color, right? I want like this product. So product, if I pass parameter as a red, product yellow, product blue, something like this, it will come. Okay, so if you want, I'll share these formulas. You can just look at this later also. Okay, so now what we want to do, you need to just before debug here, what you need to do, you need to pass for the sync dataset parameter, you need to pass to the pipeline parameter, because remember only one, whenever you are selecting some value within the data set, you can't pass the pipeline parameter value directly to this data set. First you need to pass this one to the data set parameter. First you need to pass this to the data set parameter. From the data set parameter you can pass it to the data set. Okay, so that's why here dataset parameter selected within the location, and to this dataset parameter I'm passing the value using the pipeline parameter. Debug this. Now I am giving it as a red products. Click OK. Now see, it's a dynamic. Source and sync paths are now dynamic. Okay, so what happened, I understand. It's a color name, right? It should be encoded within the single quotes, because what will happen, for example, you can't put it like this, right? Select star from table, color equal to red. You can't put it like this. You must have a single quotes. So that is missing. That's why it is error. Click OK. So some people, when you are asking doubts, are my copy activities fail, where you can see error message, you need to post the error. You simply say copy activity failed. I can't able to do anything. You need to click on the see copy activity status. Here error message will be shown. Invalid column name red. Okay, invalid column name red. At the source side you can see how it is formed. Select star from sales LT product where color equal to red. Red is not having single quotes. That's a problem. So now I have added that. Now I added single quotes. Click OK. It should work. So you can see team here, copy data, this is completed. Now if you see the folder structure, how it is created, it should create a product red. See, product red. If you go inside year, month, day, so you should have only the red products. You will have only the red products here. See, only red. Are you seeing only red? So for example, if I am running 1 second with the black, what will happen, team? If I run 1 second with the black, what will happen?
Product black folder will create.
Okay, product black will be created and all the black products will be loaded here. So let's go back to the landing. See, product black is created under that year, month, day, and file is created with only the black products. Okay, that's it, simple. Now come here, team. Come here. Next, source, and instead of query, I'll be using a stored procedure. Okay, so you have created multiple stored procedure, but I want to go with the very generic emp underscore usp. So it is going to select entire employee table data, because if you click import parameters, you can see you don't have any parameters, so you won't get any parameters. Now from the employee table, I want to take entire data. So that data I want to load it into the where, team? Open the sync data set, change this folder to the, from now onwards you need to keep it as a employee. So this color name, I am not passing anything. So if you want, you can remove it. So shall we remove it, this one? I hope you won't confuse, isn't it? I'm changed path to emp. Click OK. Okay, team. Now this dataset parameter also I'm deleting, because no longer it is required for us. Come here. Sync side emp folder we are creating. Click debug. Okay, pipeline parameter it is asking. So pipeline parameter is here, team. You can remove this. Now you can debug this. Now what happens? Source side you have a stored procedure which execute, reads the data, write it into the sync. Now let's see. Okay, you can see this data should be loaded into where, team? It should be loaded into the emp folder. Under emp folder, year is there, month is there, and the date is there, and data is loaded. Okay, this is a very simple stored procedure. Okay, now we'll take a stored procedure with the parameter. Let's say now very generic one I'll take. Import parameters. Okay, now I want to give the HR department data. Okay, so I'll say simply here HR. Okay, we want to pass it as a HR as a value. So sync side also within the data set connection here, I'll take the HR employees. Okay, HR emp I'm creating folder and run the pipeline. Screen got stuck. Is it same issue for all of you, team?
No, it's fine.
Is it same?
No.
See, from your side, network issues, team, please resolve your side. Okay. Now you have seen HR EMP folder is going to create, and it is going to fetch only the HR data from the source because I passed value as a HR. If you see it is succeeded, come here and you can see HR EMP should be there. See HR EMP under the year, month, day folder, and it has the data. This is the HR is the department name. HR is the department name. See only 3 records. Let's say now you are passing source side as sales. Okay. Now come to sync and sync data set here. Sales EMP, sales employees and say. Okay, folder is changed. Now you can debug this. Now you have seen team for each scenario because it's a very like all these scenarios are different. That's why I'm editing folders everything manually, but generally we won't edit folders and all manually. You have seen how to pass different folders dynamically to the configuration tables and all. We have seen configuration file, configuration table and all we have seen. Now we executed sales EMP. Now you should see that very soon. Okay, so anybody have any other doubts, team? You can see sales EMP came and it has a year, month, day, and it has a sales department data. Please let me know, team, if you have any questions. That's all for today from my end. Anybody have any questions?
While creating a linked service for SQL database, when do we select this option called legacy? Because I saw you did not select this time.
Yeah. Okay, so legacy is basically earlier connection. It uses the legacy drivers, that code that basically whatever username. This is kind of a backend. They have written the code, .NET code to connect to the database. Now we are providing all these as a parameters to that code. Legacy means there are legacy drivers they will be using. Going forward, legacy may not be available with respect to the security or upgraded versions and all. So they have released a new version. So that's why the new version is recommended. Old version is not recommended. Okay. So, but in some cases, the latest version is not working. In such cases, we need to go for the legacy. Legacy means old version. Understood? There are two codes are available, legacy code and the latest code. So recommended is the latest code to use.
Okay, got it.
Next,
Thank you.
any other questions, team?
Hey, Malay, I have one more question. Can you publish this code,
Yes,
please?
you can. Yes, you can publish all. You
No,
can
no,
click on
it's
publish.
not related to the publish. If you can publish it, you see right now you see number one here, right? Relate this pipeline is this link service is related to one pipeline,
Yes.
right? Can
This
you
is nothing but a in where and all in how many places this linked service is used. You can click here to see. One means only one place. Where is that one place within this data set it is used? That is the meaning.
you see it's just showing the data set, not the pipeline, right? Let's say we have a
No,
link
hold on.
service.
Hold on. This linked services we use in the data sets. You need
Mhm.
to go to data sets. You need to see this data set is used where. This is used in this pipeline. So that's how you need to backtrace it.
Okay.
Linked service we use in data set, not directly in the pipeline, right? That's why it will show like that.
Let's say we have one pipeline, sorry, one one linked service, right? And that
Hmm.
we are using for, let's say, 50 pipelines, right?
Hmm.
And now we have a new version of that link service. How would we upgrade? Like, what is the best approach?
So directly you can change that will reflect in all the 50 pipelines. If you don't want to use that old one for the existing 50, I want
Mhm.
to go legacy connection for the existing 50. For the new pipelines and all, you want to use a new connection. So they will recreate a new connection with a different name. That's it.
Okay.
Understood?
Okay.
Any
Thank
other
you.
questions, team? Any other questions, team? Final call team, any questions? Fine, if no questions, then thank you all.